everyone, I'm Chris. Thanks for watching. Kenyan Drake is my #1 flag player for 2018 on my podcast, the Harris Football Podcast, and I know that surprised a lot of folks. I didn't expect that I would have Kenyan Drake rated inside my top 20 running backs when I started doing my ranks way back in June and July when I was watching film. And actually, I wouldn't be that shocked if I wound up with him in my top 15 before we get to the end of this draft season. It's not what I expected, but of course it does all go back to the fact that I watched film over the summer on everybody, and I kind of was surprised and discovered I liked Drake a lot more than I expected. So let me show you why Kenyan Drake winds up my #1 flag player for this year. As I'm sure you're aware, the Dolphins traded away Jay Ajayi, and here's the first game after that trade, Week 13 against the Broncos, and number 34 there for the Broncos, Will Parks. Well, hello, welcome to hell. That's a lovely juke with a safety staring at Drake in the hole, and it's not the only great part of this play. It is the flashiest. Drake is able to make this move because his line is giving him time and a decent-sized cutback lane. And then pay attention to number 54 there, the linebacker, Brandon Marshall, because Drake pays attention too. Marshall isn't in perfect tackling position, but it's more the vision I want to pay attention to. Drake sees him in his way and cuts again hard off his right foot and pushes off. That's the stop leg, go leg that we talk about, and he's gone for a touchdown. Now, I don't think I was shocked by the long speed, but I was a little surprised by the quickness. Hey, quick break to thank DraftKings for sponsoring today, and they've got a really cool offer that relates to this whole Harris football thing. I write this almanac every year. It's about 200 plus pages of a PDF where I'm looking at everybody, giving you ranks, film grades, some snark about players, and it normally costs $17, but you can get it free from DraftKings by making a first-time deposit of $10 in a new DraftKings account. All you have to do is click on the link below me in the notes to this show, go on over to DraftKings, make a first-time deposit of $10, and within 24 hours, you will be mailed the 2018 Harris Football Player Profile Almanac. I hope you enjoy it. Don't draft without it, and thank you so much to DraftKings. Let's get back to more Kenyan Drake. Okay, let's get back into it with Kenyan Drake. This is the same game I just showed you. It's our friend Will Parks again. And again, don't go crazy. That's a nice-sized cutback lane that will make a running back look quicker than he may even be. But I like Drake's ability here to make the cut, not a super elite change of direction, but better than average, but then also to accelerate out of it, run around our friend Brandon Marshall again. Now, Marshall sees the run, seems to be trying to take away the cutback lane, but Drake can get up to speed, surprising him, and gets around him, gets 6 yards. The following week, in an upset win over New England, this is Miami's first play from scrimmage. How about this freaking tour de force? I mean, this play is completely sniffed out by the middle linebacker, Landon Roberts. And okay, yes, again, Drake is not overrun with other defenders, so he has the ability to find room and make the move, but it's a pretty good move to jump out of the way right and to land and immediately see 2 defenders on his outside shoulder and put his foot down hard and stop himself and cut directly upfield. And then look at the acceleration. He sees green, north-south, and he goes. If you watch enough running backs, this looks different to you. This is a few steps and he's up to speed. And then there's one more juke that freezes the safety, Devin McCourty, and whoosh, he runs around the outside left, and McCourty does catch him, but that's 26 yards. Honestly, maybe my footy pajamas were traumatized, I have to admit. I had forgotten that Drake looked like this in this game. He's a dancer. It's all over his film. When you need him to cut back, when he sees the good lanes that he did often get, he'll dance with sweet feet, coordinated feet, while keeping square. I want to emphasize again, this is splashy, this cut back to the right. It's what we think of when we think of a quick back. But realize, again, it's not on the dead run. He's decelerating to make this cut because his path is blocked. We'll take it. It's not the hard vector change that really sets the true elites apart, but definitely, I'll take it. I like it. And when his line gets a push like this, it can lead to big plays. Am I convincing you yet? He has room to make this spin move, but he sure does make it. Patrick Chung has met him in the backfield, and goodbye Patrick Chung, and then burst out upfield and almost beat McCourty, even though McCourty has the angle on him. Again, what I'm looking for in terms of repeatability and reliability is, can you make stuff happen on your own some of the time in some games when stuff isn't just opening wide up for you? And it's very clear to me that Kenyan Drake can. So Drake's calling card as a prospect was speed, running like mid 4.4s at 6'1", 210 pounds. Not huge, but not little. And for sure, the long speed is what I expected out of him, and we certainly see it. I'll show you a few plays. I think he has more than that, but it's good to know when guys have it because you know that big plays can ensue. That's a really nice bounce cut to the outside to avoid a defensive lineman. But then look at him shock number 27 there, Tre'Davious White. Now, Tre'Davious White's a sub 4.5 guy himself, and he's got an angle on Drake, and Drake just hits the jets. I mean, you tell me, in that game of tag, who's winning that game of tag? I'm pretty sure Kenyan Drake is going to win. That's elite speed when the dude has an angle on you pretty much through the entire gradual turning upfield, and you're still so much faster than him that he never touches you. Now that should make you say, oh, I mean, if they time the same 40 time, okay, then that means one of them gets up to speed faster, has better acceleration, and that's Drake, and that is his acceleration. The Dolphins are getting their lips ripped off in this game against the Panthers, and this hole kind of just opens up for Drake here. Now, if I'm not going to give credit when that happens for someone like Alex Collins, I'm not going to give credit here. But it's the long speed that shows up later in the run when you see the safety number 29 there trying to angle you to the sidelines. There's your vector change. Cut it up inside and then hit the jets. And you can see number 24 there, that's James Bradbury. He's a 4.45 guy too. And all right, well, he's closing in a little there at the end, but I think also probably Drake knows he's going to score. He is a burner. How about Drake as a receiver? Well, let's split him out wide right, and you can see Cutler giving the throat gesture there because he sees number 52 again, Landon Roberts, out wide covering Drake, and Cutler knows that's a completely unfair matchup. Drake is fast, and he runs a pretty dang simple fly pattern with a single safety back, and it's a pretty easy shot as deep shots go, and Drake shows he can adjust. The ball's a little bit behind him. We will certainly take it. Split wide against Roberts again. Easy pitch and catch on a slant. Not showing you this because it's some sort of display of extraordinary ability, but let's split the guy wide and take advantage when we get a speed matchup. Now let's not oversell it. Drake has the pedigree to be a pass catcher like I just showed you, but there weren't many downfield shots in his 5-week audition as the starter end of last year. It was more like this. I'll take this too, because if we get an organized screen game around Kenyan Drake, great. If he can sometimes be his own third down back, awesome. Get him in the open field. He accelerates past one man here. I think he eventually will make plays in the screen game too. Now, is there a danger of a little too much dancing in Drake's repertoire? Yes. And I think if there's a weakness and a place where, even in the case, where Drake gives a good season to the Dolphins, he could frustrate a little bit for fantasy, it could be this tendency to dance. Like, this play is stuffed. We're not blaming Drake for the 3-yard loss, for the fact that the thing was stuffed necessarily, but everything doesn't have to be a bunny hop at the point of attack, And with Drake, it kind of sometimes is. He's almost always hopping when he gets to the line. How is he in short yardage? How is he on the goal line? We certainly care about that for fantasy. So these are 3 straight carries against the Bills, week 15. The first one, I think that's illegal motion on him, but they don't call it. But yeah, he wants to crow hop and shift instead of just plowing ahead. It certainly costs him. Not going to blame him here. It's a wall of humanity in front of him, but he's not sticking with the pile. He's going to squirt it out and try and get the edge. Here the speed can't quite get him all the way there, so no sale. Okay, and now let's get there. Nicer push by the Dolphins line and more stick-to-itiveness for Drake. I think I just said he's 6'1 and 210. He doesn't always play like he's that size. Even this is a little bit more of a lean than a pop. He'll take it. We want him to run like this, but this is not what he always does when he has got the opportunity to plow straight ahead. then again, okay, he's kind of stopped here. It's not like he plows into anybody, but he's sturdy enough to take the paw on the chest and stay balanced. He's strong enough. He's probably not strong enough to be a banger by NFL standards, but at minimum, I think a play like this says, okay, he's not completely without power or completely without the ability to stay on his feet when he gets hit a little bit. I don't think he's going to be a goal line guy, but everything else seems to be there. In the end, I rate Drake right around my top 15 running backs for this year, despite his clear lack of a proven track record. I know some folks freaked out when Miami signed Frank Gore, 35-year-old Frank Gore. It could have been way worse. Most backfields in the NFL are committees, and the Dolphins could have gone out and gotten C.J. Anderson, somebody who was maybe a little more complete and not in their NFL dotage. I'm not that scared about the big guys there. I'm not all that concerned with Kalen Ballage. I never thought that we would see a full workload out of Kenyan Drake. If he's in a 70-30 split, that's great by NFL standards, and I think he's talented enough to make big plays in the receiving game and quick plays up the middle of the field to the point where it's a little bit of risk, but as a high-level RB2, it's a risk I'm willing to take. The risk is exacerbated by injury history. Maybe the one reason to be most skeptical of my best-case scenario that I'm painting for Kenyan Drake is his career at Alabama. I mean, he broke limbs, he got suspended a couple of times. He hasn't always been their most reliable guy, and maybe the thing that undoes him is nothing to do with the depth chart or the quality of the offense, and more about injuries and or off-field stuff. I am sort of believing in the best-case scenario for my number one flag player of this year. I think I'm going to own him a fair amount in that RB2 range. I like Kenyan Drake a lot. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button. Write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.